What is AI? AI say is artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? A machine working instead of using, it has been programmed to work in a particular method, and it is using that method to drive that particular machine. Just like when you are born, you don't have any capabilities. You are slowly taught by your parents, by your grandparents, by your teachers. You are encouraged to come forward to learn how to brush your teeth, wipe yourself, wash yourself, dress, drive a cycle, go to drive a car. Everything is a change. When you are willing to adapt that change as you grow up, why not we also adopt this change of AI? Because we have been focusing not on the concept which is going developing, but we are happy to remain stagnant because more comfortable. Why should I move out of my comfort zone? I recall I read a book written by a doctor, a psychologist who said, "Who moved my cheese?" The who moved my cheese is rats were trained by keeping a cheese in a particular position. And when a particular action takes place, they'll go get the cheese. And they were trained for that. So that is what we are adopting. When the cheese was moved out, they were running helter-skelter. They did not know what was happening. In the same manner, human beings also behaving like rats. We had the cheese, and so we are enjoying the cheese. And when we felt that when the cheese was moved, we did not know what was happening, and we are running helter-skelter. So, it's a very nice story, a nice article, a book, which everybody should read, Who Moved My Cheese? Now, what does it mean? Today, the government of India has started a program as known as the Dedicated Freight Corridor. It is nothing but transportation of goods. What is it? Instead of crossing lines between passenger traffic and goods traffic and causing a lot of accidents or mishaps, or delivery systems are broken or delayed, so many things may happen. Passenger trains may get delayed, but passenger trains are always given preference. And so when that happens, that the freight train gets delayed, it gets stopped somewhere, it is not moved. There are so many things that may happen, which we have experienced in the past. So the current government, what has it done? It has created what is known as the Dedicated Freight Corridor. What is the Dedicated Freight Corridor? It runs from east to west, north to south, and it connects all the major towns, cities in that area. So that you can start from, say, Chennai and go all the way to Calcutta, and the trains run without any break. They stop at specific stations wherein the containers are unloaded and the containers are loaded. So it is a continuous process. It does not come in the way of the passenger trains at all. So one train currently I think is 2 kilometers long, with 3 engines being used to push that. So what happens? The delay in the delivery of goods is reduced, and you are able to get your goods transported within a short while where you want, with hubs being at particular stations which delivery takes place to the locals at an easier pace. So these are the consequences of this dedicated freight corridor. It will reduce costs because you're looking at all container loads, and each will be marked for a particular city, for a particular town, and so there is no unloading, loading. The containers removed and the new containers put on top of the train. So what happens? There's a cost reduction. When this cost reduction takes place, there will be the cost of materials, everything will come down for the people also. They're expecting it. We hope it will come. It will come, but it will take time to smoothen out the rough edges. And as soon as the rough edges are smoothened out, and when the dedicated freight trains start running efficiently and effectively, there will be some cost reductions. Not only that, there will be some products which you will not be perishable products which were previously we were not able to transport here quickly or within a short period of time. Now, because of this dedicated freight train, there might be specific, containers which are being used, which will be used to transport some expensive products which are produced in India, not very close to Chennai. It may be in, say, Silchar, or it may be in, Ladakh, somewhere, I do not know. That can be easily transported because of the reason there's going to be a straight, dedicated freight. It's not going to be broken up into pieces, loading from one train to another freight lorry, from a lorry to another station, from the station to another train, and from train to another place. No, it is one straight, full dedication. It's dedicated. So that change has taken place. What is the consequence of that? A lot of consequences. Because the Mazdoors, the loaders and unloaders at various stations will be reduced. Because they are going to be in containers, unloading a container will be using forklifts, and regular unloading, the opening the container, unloading the goods, loading the same container with all the markings, with etc., etc., all that will be closed today. It will slowly develop, and smoothly it will start falling into place, and the losers are going to be the laborers who are employed in various stations to load and unload the goods. Now, it is disruptive. It is going to cause a lot of anguish. It is going to cause a lot of trouble. It is going to cause a loss of jobs. Yes, that is going to be disruptive. But in the long run, you cannot keep on looking at the past and saying we should give jobs to these Mazdoors, and therefore my costs could be kept high, and therefore there should be losses, and therefore I cannot get goods from A to B to B to C, etc. Well, we have to look at alternatives to circumvent the problems of those people who have lost their jobs. Because unskilled jobs, they remain unskilled, that some of them, it becomes a tradition over a period of time to remain unskilled, to work there, because it's easier work, I have local, I have everything there, I remain stagnant, I do not change. When I remain stagnant, what happens in the end? My family still remains stagnant, and there is no growth potential for the future of my children or of my family. So that change you have to adapt. And when you adapt it, you will learn new techniques. The same Mazdoor may train himself to run a forklift. The same Mazdoor may start buying a small truck to transport the goods from the railway station to the local mandi. See, there are so many factors by which you will be able to circumvent the problem of losing a job of unloading and loading in a train. So, when you look at it, change in this case is for the better. But it is going to take a long time for us to understand that this change is for the better. Because we have been so used to that life, so used to that kind of thinking and perception, that we are not aware of what can change there, how it can improve the life of an individual. We are not able to perceive it because we have been kept to think that if we lose that job, we will not be able to circumvent, adopt a different job. So what happens? We still remain there, we do not grow, we remain stagnant, and poverty continues to be the bane in those areas. So to overcome the poverty levels, change will take place and has to take place, and vision has to improve because the change is going to happen and we should be able to adapt it. Otherwise, we'll be landing hard, which will pain us in the long run. Thank you.